Today's topic: AEW has third televised show promoting wrestling. So while Rampage is like the Saturday night, we technically got a Saturday night like WCW. This time it's called AEW Collision, and it's going to be airing 6 p.m. on Saturdays in the middle of June, where they're going to be putting jam-packed cards like you'll be seeing Miro again. AEW revealed the first 6 weeks of Collision is going to be in like Canada, for like Ontario, Jersey, Saskatoon, I know I'll get corrected in the comment section, especially from Steve. Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. No Chicago. Yet they tease Punk possibly could be coming back following the date and location and the premiering. And then they're going to be announcing they're going to be bringing back the Owen Hart Cup. So they premiere this at like 6 p.m. middle of the day on Saturdays. And it's a 2-hour program, so I think this is primarily AEW's B show. This is literally nobody's going to be eligible to get home and watch this. What is wrong with Tony Khan? Does he have any logic when it comes to how people are going to view his product? It's been 3 years and still not a notable amount of people know what AEW is. And yet the smartest thing he can do is commercially jet lag his company off saying, oh yeah, the WCW was on Saturday night. It was a half an hour special that already had a longer run airing on television over on TBS, more than Nitro before they went over on Mondays. You know why Nitro was garnering viewership late night? Because people were home late Monday night. Depended when Raw was even pre-recorded back in the day. Until later on when they were live. And now Tony Khan's trying to issue to part creative when there's already an established roster. What about you cut the roster up? You got people over on AEW that are not TV ready, and yet you just want to elicit more wrestling to already a show with whenever you chop over the content are more unlikable and less interesting. I'm not seeing star value anytime I watch AEW, and then you want to issue over to a secondary show after SmackDown when there's less star value. It is not even a continuation of the bigger show to make me want to watch the bigger show or build to watch the pay-per-view. So they just want to jam-pack wrestling upon wrestling upon wrestling. This is what pisses me off with AEW and Tony Khan when he solicits content that doesn't need to be solicited. And then you want to issue a game over all this that took delay over delay. This is Anthem. Honestly. So I don't know if they're trying to theme up this concept over wrestling, except this is just going to be another AEW show. Why call it Collision? Why not just make another pay-per-view? You already are bringing back All In over in England. And you guys already can barely sell over with buy one get one free tickets. But you're getting sold out already in just the last something weeks. Are you kidding me? It's either I'm not hearing enough, or this is the amount of critical backfiring that's happening around whatever Tony Khan thinks is supposed to sell over his company, like Miro, Powerhouse Hobbs, Andrade El Idolo, and Thunder Rosa. Yeah, Miro and Thunder Rosa, people that hasn't been seen on television in months. And they're still thinking like it's star quality when Thunder Rosa has been missing and garnered heat backstage. And Miro, we haven't even noticed on TV since he was TNT champion. And Hobbs, that's already shown over on Dynamite. Like, what's the point? Long-term wrestling fans will also notice the red and yellow Collision logo, very reminiscent of the WCW Monday Nitro, which is TNT from 1995 to 2001. AEW Tony Khan, AEW CEO Tony Khan, with an addition of TNT Collision on TNT. I'm extremely proud the Turner Network will be home to Saturday Night Wrestling for the first time in more than 2 decades. Like, why? And then Punk will be back over in the United Center in his hometown. The only optimism is CM Punk is possibly going to be back over on television to garner some type of momentum, because that's been the news value out of a third show, just to carry over just a rating spike, because we know that majority of AEW cannot draw. And I'm not just saying that, that's an absolute fact. Because what other news value we've gotten over Dynamite since the media scrum, since MJF has become world champion? So honestly, I need to understand. So your best bet is Punk coming back because he's the only perennial X Factor over on your roster that could try to garner that effect like you did over for Rampage. That was a reason to boost over his momentum in AEW's. And then you barely get your stars selling over Rampage, either than let's just have a match on Rampage. That's not going to be enough to try to garner the interest of your product or the wrestlers if you just make the guys just wrestle. The wrestling already sells itself, and plus the product of wrestling is already established as decent enough. What? There's guys that just don't get it. We already know that some of these guys are good wrestlers. And yet they want to encompass this with more wrestling content, with Elevation, Dark, Dynamite, Rampage. They're already an all-access show that's somehow televised instead of over on your YouTube channel, when already their show's already established. And then you display the wrestlers over on a show where most people would be planning something and won't be in the house to watch Dynamite or this Collision show, when you guys barely can make over a quarter of a million over on Rampage numbers late night. You're gonna air over prime time over on the Saturday night when people would rather watch a Family Guy than you. I swear Family Guy on 8 p.m. would murder whatever Collision happens, and then as soon as college football's back, you are screwed. There is no coming back when college football is airing prime time games. This is legitimate logic. AEW is not competing with college football. They are not. Over with Deion Sanders being head coach, USC, everybody wants to see if Alabama wants to be back. Whatever Lincoln Riley's doing over with Oklahoma, with USC. There's always going to be still an overgrowing market, knowing College football is going to be back, and you cannot beat their numbers, especially Saturdays that primarily air college football. And whether they're going to air or not, you're not going to beat Penn State versus West Virginia, Ohio State having a late night game possibly, Appalachian, like any other school will literally beat the shit out of anything going on Collision. Because there's that much lack of notoriety over AEW. So, apologies if I think this is not going to work. If they can already scratch the surface around 800,000 over with Dynamite, and they can never scratch the surface to even get you any perennial news value except haven't seen that guy wrestle in a couple months on Rampage. So, I'm sorry if I'm pessimistic, but that's the type of low expectation AEW has as a televised program. But you guys tell me down below. Comment down below how you feel about Collision coming in as a show. Because I already have low expectations for it. Knowing that AEW already has like this much expediting content. Because Tony Khan is such a mark. Thanks for watching the DC show. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'm going to take my Tylenol.